गणानां त्वा गणपतिं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पतानः शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनं श्रीमहागणाधिपतये नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। Om. Dear friends, we are reading this Viveka Chudamani. We were in this 160th shloka. We completed the 160th shloka, 161 shloka number 161 we completed in the last class. Shankaracharya was talking about first of all the nature of bondage, the tree of bondage he was saying, and then he talked about the discrimination between Atma and Anatma, that is what is self and what is not self. And then while describing the non-self, we come across 5 people. It is as though 5 layers are there. All these 5 layers, there are 5 people standing in front of us and obstructing us from going inside. So we have to fight with the first fellow, and then we have to say, you are not the person. Then again second person comes, no, I am the person. No, you have to fight with that fellow also, and you have to discard him, and then you have to go inside. You have to fight with the third fellow and go inside. So it is like that. It is, there are 5 sheets, and at each level it is somewhat like a gate. It is like a person who is obstructing you. This mano, for example, the first kosha is Annamaya kosha. We were actually concluding that Annamaya kosha now. So that Annamaya kosha, it also gives a notion, it also gives the knowledge, yes, I am like this, I am handsome, I am tall, I am strong, I am this, I am that, etc., etc. And say, okay, I am young, all these notions, my nose is so good, and you insure your nose, you insure your muscles, you insure your thighs. So all these things we do, that is the Dehendriya, Dehatma Buddhi. That is, the body is so, it is so much in our mind that we identify ourselves with that body. So that body is something that it is the first level which is stopping us from reaching the Atman. So that is the first fellow. So then we have been discussing about that first fellow, and we have been trying to know what exactly are the, what is the real nature of that Annamaya kosha. It is something which is very, very impermanent. It is subject to so many changes, etc., etc. We saw in the last class. And then now we are concluding. And then we are going to the next person called Pranamaya kosha. So that person also says, no, I am the real self. Because that man, he also gives an impression. I am hungry, I am thirsty, I am this, I am strong, etc., etc. The Pranamaya kosha says. So we will see that in the present class. So after this 161, let us read this 162 shloka. This 162 shloka also talks about the Annamaya kosha only. We are now concluding. We are just concluding the discussion on this Annamaya kosha. And that is the food sheath, let us say. Dehendriyada vasati brahmoditam vidvanaham tam najahati yavat tavanna tasyasti vimukti vartapyastvesha vedantanayanta darshi. So he is saying about the scholastic achievement of a person. A person reads all Shastras. A person is capable of, analyzing the sentence in a very wonderful way. What is called Vakyartha Vichara. If you have seen Pandita Sabhas, there is what is called Vakyartha Vichara. So that Vakya, they take the word, and then the word from every angle they see, from Mimamsa Shastra, from Vyakarana Shastra, all these things, a lot of analysis of each and every expression, each and every part in that particular expression, what is called Dala Prayojanam. So every small bit is explained, and in a very, very, authoritative, in a very knowledgeable, in a very scholarly manner, you explain that whole thing. But then, we do not apply it to ourselves. We have a lot of scholastic knowledge, we do not apply it to ourselves. We talk about the Dehendriya, what is this, Dehatma, Bhava and all that, but then we don't deliberate on that, we don't dwell on that. We have left it at that intellectual level. So Shankaracharya is talking about such person now. He is saying, Dehendriyadav asati Dehendriyadav. That is, asat is the unreal. Asati Dehendriyadav. In this unreal Deha, etc., the body and the Indriyas, Brahmoditam, Brahmoditam, Ahamtam. This Ahamta is that notion of I. Ahamta is again, how has it arisen? Brahmodita, Brahmaya Udita. That is Brahma. Brahma is delusion, a wrong understanding. Brahmoditam is because it something which has arisen out of Brahma, something which has arisen out of this say deluded thinking or wrong thinking or improper perception. So this Brahmoditam Ahamtam Vidwan na jahati yavat, so long as the Vidwan, the real seeker, let us say, na jahati, so long as the seeker does not give up the notion of I in this their body-mind complex, and which is this identity is something which is born out of this wrong perception. That is Brahma, Brahmodita, Brahmoditam, Ahamtam. Ahamta is the notion of I. Aham is I. Ahamta is that notion of I. So, yavat na jahati, so long as a person does not leave, so then what is the result? Tavat, till that time, na tasyasti vimukti varta. So that man, for him, there is no news about what is this vimukti. There is no talk, there is no word, you can't, he is so far removed from the liberation. Vimukti is liberation or freedom or what is called moksha. Moksha is understanding all these bondages and then getting rid of all these bondages, negating all these things. So long as he does not apply it to himself, so long as he does not negate these things in his personal life, till that time, the man is so well entrenched in his own scholarly world, and then if another rival scholar comes, he is very eager to fight with that rival scholar. Bhoge, Roga Bhayam, Kulet, Shuti Bhayam, etc., etc. That shloka you can apply. Bhartruhari's shloka. Shastre, what is this? Vivada, something. Shastre, Vivada, Bhayam, something like that. There is some such expression there. If you are a very great scholar, then you are very keen on fighting or very much either afraid or you are looking down on the rival scholar. So there is a rivalry with the rival scholar, but you are not applying that scholarship to yourself. So that is what he says. Yavat na jahati, so long as this man does not give up. Jahati means gives up. Jahati, ha dhatu, o hak tyage. That is, so long as the person does not give up this notion of I in this body-mind complex, till that time, tavat means till that time, na tasya asti vimukti varta, tasya for that person, na asti vimukti varta. This talk about vimukti, this news of vimukti, it is just not there. Even if you were to be astuesha varta api, vimukti varta api means even it is not there. Even varta is not there. Even the talk is not there, let alone experience. Then Astvesha Vedanta Nayanta Darshi, let him be Astuesha, Astu Esha, Eshaha, this person, Astu, let him be, Astu, let him be, what? Vedanta Nayanta Darshi. Vedanta, Vedanta is Upanishads, all this Upanishadic literature. Naya means science, a particular science. Naya, it can means it is basically a science. Nayati iti. Nayati, Nyaya Shastra, that Naya is something which leads. Vedanta Naya means Vedanta Shastra. Vedanta Shastra Anta. He has seen the A to Z of Vedanta Shastra. Anta means end. Vedanta itself is the end of Vedanta, Vedas, and the Anta of Vedanta, Vedanta Anta. So that is why he said Vedanta Nayanta Darshi. So this Vedanta Shastrasya Antaha. So he has seen the from A to Z, he is a master of that whole Vedanta Shastra. So let him be a great master of Vedanta, let him be a great master of all the Upanishads and all Upanishadic literature. But then for him, there is no news also, there is not even a talk, there is not a whiff, that's what we say, there is not a whiff of what is called liberation. So that is what he says. Then he says how you have to get rid of. You have to get rid of this notion of this I, this notion of I, identity of I with this deha. So chaya sharire pratibimbagatre yat swapna dehe hrudi kalpitange yathatma buddhistavanasti kachit jivat sharire cha tathaiva mastu. So he says, you deliberate on this. You please deliberate on this. That's what he says. Chaya Sharire. There is what is called Chaya Sharira. You stand in the sun and then you see the shade. That is what is called Chaya Sharira. Chaya Purusha, we say. Chaya Sharira is, that is the one's own shade which you see either in the sun or the moon or some electrical light. That is what is Chaya Sharira. Then Pratibimba Gatre. Gatra again means Sharira. Gatra again means body. Gatra is body. Pratibimba Gatre. You stand in front of a mirror and see your own Pratibimba, your own image. So that is again your own image. Chaya is one type of image. This Pratibimba is another type of image. Then yet Swapna Dehe. In Swapna, in your own dream, you have a perception of yourself. You have perception of your own body. That Swapna Deha also is there. That Swapna Deha also is unreal. Chaya Deha is unreal. This Pratibimba Deha is unreal. This Swapna Deha also is unreal. Yet Swapna Dehe. Hrudi Kalpitange. Hrudi, in your own mind. Hrudi means heart actually, but here in your own mind. Hrudi Kalpitange. You have visualized a body of yourself. You have visualized some body of yourself. Oh, I am like this, I am like this. So you are visualizing some particular shape for yourself. So in all these things, just as you do not have this Atma Buddhi in all these things, suppose you wake up from a dream, you don't really think that, you in dream, sometimes you may have a feeling that you are flying in air. And then in Chaya, sometimes you see sometimes good, sometimes bad, sometimes it is long, sometimes it is short, etc., etc. So you are not having any sort of identification with the Chaya. So just as you do not have an identification or Atma Buddhi means that is my own self. So that Atma Buddhi, you don't, just as you don't have, similarly, don't have that Atma Buddhi in this particular body. Jivat Sharire means this body which is alive. So all other things, of course, they are not alive. We know that. Chaya Sharira is not alive, Pratibimba is not alive. Whatever is there in the mind, which is conceived by the mind, that again is not alive. And similarly, whatever you are visualizing as your body, that again is not something, it is only in your imagination, not something which is present. So similarly, Yatha Atma Buddhi Tava Nasti Kachit. Tava, to you, Atma Kachita Atma Buddhi Nasti. You don't even have any type of Atma Buddhi in such, say, fictitious things. So similarly, you dwell on this, and then in this Jivat Sharira also. Jivat Sharira is this body which is living. So in this body also, you deliberate and then you realize that this is not the real self. So that is what he says. Jivat Shariresh Tathaiva Mastu. Likewise, let that ahamta mastu, let that notion of I be not there. Mastu means let it not be there. Tathaiva Jivat Sharire Mastu. That ahamta mastu. What mastu here? Ahamta mastu. Ahamta, that notion of I, let it not be there. So that is Sharira is not Atma. So that is what he says. It is seen by the mind both in a dream and in an imagination. Just as you don't have that notion of I in all that, similarly you do not have a notion of I in this Jivat Sharira. Then similarly, in the last shloka, he is dismissing this Annamaya Kosha. So that is, he says, it is concluding. This is the concluding shloka on Annamaya Kosha. On Annamaya Kosha, so far I think we have seen about 10, 12, how many? Starting from 154 to 164. So full 10, 11 shlokas we have seen on Annamaya Kosha. Because Annamaya Kosha is something which is obstructing us quite solidly. It is something which is making us feel this is myself. So that is why so many shlokas are earmarked for this. So this next shloka says, Dehatma dhirevan runam asadhyam janmadi dukkha prabhavaya bijam yatastatasvam jahitam prayatnat tyaktetu chittena punarbhavasha. So he says, Dehatma dhihi eva runam asatdhiyam. Asatdhiyam runam. Asat is unreal. Asatdhi is some, the dhi means the mind, intellect. Asatdhi means the intellect which only sees the unreal. The intellect which is actually going after the unreal. So that is what is called asatdhi, referring to a person who is going after the, asat, unreal things. So asat dhyam is Shashti Bahuvachanam, isn't it? So for those whose minds are seeing anatma only, those whose minds tend to see anatma only, these unreal things only, and who are they? Dehatma dhireva, Dehatma. So these are the people who see their own body as the Atma. For those people who see this Deha as the body, for those whose minds only see that Anatma, then for them Janmadi Dukkha Prabhavasya Bijam. So this is the seed. This sort of vision, this sort of understanding is the Bijam or the seed. This Dehatma Bhava, and then Asatadhi, that is seeing the unreal only or pursuing the unreal. That is the Bijam for all the Janma Adi Dukkha Prabhavasya. This is Janma because you are pursuing this, say these things, and then you are going after that, and you are seeking pleasure, and then because seeking pleasure and whatnot, then there is a karma, then that karma phala, etc., etc. Karma phala means another Janma. Janma karma phala pradam. We see that word in Gita. That is a particular, any karma, Janma is leading to karma. So he is Janma. And karma is leading to Janma. So that is the cycle. Janmadi Dukkha Prabhavasya. So the Prabhava means origin. This is the bija, this is the seed for the origin of the sorrow resulting from Janmadi. Sorrow resulting due to Janma, Jara, Vyadhi, death, etc., etc. So that is the bijam. So therefore, Yataha, because it is so, Yataha Tataha. Yataha means because it is so, Tataha, therefore, Tvam, Yatas Tatas Tvam, Tvam means you, Jahi, Jahi means get rid of, give up. What? Tam, Tam means that one. What is that? Dehatma Bhavam, Dehatma Buddhi, Dehatma Dhi, Dehatma Dhihi. That is in, say, feminine gender. So that is why he uses the word Tam. Tam, Dehatma Dhiyam, Jahi. Jahi means you give up. Prayatnat. Prayatnat means with great effort. And what is that effort? Shravana Mananadi is the effort. So this Dehatma Bhava will not go without this Shravana Manana Nididhyasana. So Shastriya Prayatnat, says our Swamiji, Chandrasekhara Bharati Swamiji, he writes, Shastriya Prayatnat. Prayatnat means Shravana Manana Nididhyasanadi Shastriya Prayatnat, he says. That is, you have to do that effort in the prescribed manner. There is no other way. There is no other way. The only way is to listen. The only way is to meditate on that, to dwell on that. The only way is to apply it to yourself. It is only when you do that, this Dehatma Bhava cannot go. By reading Shastra, it will not go. By merely reading, you have to read it under a teacher, do Shravana properly, have proper explanation for each and every question, and then we are supposed to apply it to ourselves. That is what is Nididhyasana. And then only slowly these notions of I and me, mine, they become rather weak. After long period of abhyasa and abhyasa, only then it will slowly weaken. So that is what he says. Tyakte tu chitte na punarbhavasha. Tyakte tu chitte. This is not Sati Saptami. Tyakte, chitte, tyakte, sati is not that. Chitte, Dehatma bhavo tyakte sati. Dehatma bhave tyakte sati. Not even sati. Chitte, dehadau tyakte tu. There is a tu also there. Chitte, dehadau. You do some adhyahara of that word, dehadau, you borrow that word. Chitte, dehadau, tyakte tu. When you have mentally given up. Chitte, tyakte means when you have mentally given up all these dehadi, from your mind, when you have given it up from your mind, then na punarbhavasha. Then only you can hope for this na punarbhavam. Na punarbhavam means getting rid of this punarjanma. It is only then that you will have hope that you will not have another janma. So till that time, this janma, jara, dukkha, etc. will be there. It is only when this dehatma bhava is given up, mentally you have to totally give up. Dehatma bhava, physically you will not be able to give up. Physically you have to take bath, physically you have to be clean, physically you have to give some dressing to the body. All these things have to be done. But mentally you have to give it up So that it is only then there can be some hope. Asha. Asha means hope. It is only then that you can have some hope for na punarbhava. So that is what he says. Now it is this discussion on Annamaya Kosha has come to an end. This Pranamaya Kosha, he is dismissing in two shlokas, because Pranamaya Kosha, normally we identify with the body. Then secondly, we identify with the mind, isn't it? Normally this Pranamaya Kosha, though the Pranamaya Kosha is responsible for all the activities, etc., Grahana, Adana, etc., all types of activities, we almost include it in the body. We almost take it as body, and then we don't realize that, we don't see that prana is a great source of identity for us. We don't identify with the prana, we identify with the deha, we identify with the manas. Prana, of course, is there in between. Prana is very, very vital, but then we don't identify it with much. So that is why he is dismissing it in two shlokas. So he says, Karmendriyai panchabhiranchitoyam prano bhavet pranamayastu koshaha yenatmavan annamayonupurnaha pravartate sau sakala kriyasu. So he says, what are the constituents of this, say, pranamaya kosha? First he is saying that. What is the pranamaya kosha? Annamaya kosha is purely from the gross, say, aspect of the five elements. This Pranamaya Kosha is from the Rajoguna. The Annamaya Kosha is from the Tamoguna aspect, that is the gross aspect of the five elements. Then this Pranamaya Kosha is from the Rajo aspect, Rajas. Rajas is something to do with energy, something to do with work, something to do with going ahead. We know this Rajoguna also. Rajo Ragatmakam Vidhi. Trishna Sangha Samudbhavam. Always going after something, always trying to do some work, etc. So Rajoguna also we see this domination of Rajoguna leading to creation of this Kshatriya and Vaishya, those tendencies. So that we see in Gita. So this is the product of the Rajoguna. So the five Karmendriyas are there. Karmendriyas are Vak, Pani, Pada, Payu, Upastha. That is Vak, speech, Pani, hand, Pada is feet, Payu is the rectum, Upastha is the genital organ. So these are the five, say, organs of action. So these five organs of action are said to have been from the Rajas aspect of the five elements respectively. That is Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Apaha, water, and then Prithvi. So from the five elements, these five, say, organs of action have evolved. And then from the collective Rajas aspect of all the five elements, this prana has come. Prana itself has come. Like the mind is the, when we talk about sense organs are the evolutes of the sattva aspect of the five elements, isn't it? Yeah. But then, and the mind is the collective, from the collective sattva aspect. So similarly, this prana is from the collective Rajas aspect of the five elements. So that is what is the origin. That is written, very fully explained by that Chandrasekhara Bharati Swami. So Karmendriyai panchabhihi anchitoyam. Anchitaha means equipped. It is consisting of, it consists of, or it is equipped with. Anchitaha ayam refers to prana. Ayam pranaha, that is Pumlinga. Ayam pranaha bhavet pranamayastu koshaha. This becomes pranamaya kosha. Then yena atmavan annamayo nupurnaha. Yena atmavan annamayaha. This annamaya kosha, the earlier one, is becoming meaningful only because of this prana. Is becoming atmavan. That is, it is gaining some sort of respectability. It is gaining itself only by Atmavan is somebody who is having an identity, isn't it? Somebody is having an identity, is that Atmavan. So, Yena Atmavan Bhavati. Atma Pratiphalanam. That is what that Swamiji writes. Because it is getting closer to the real self only by virtue of this prana. If this prana were not to be there, it is a dead body only. In a dead body, there is no question of, enquiry for Atma. The body should be there, then the prana also should be there, the indriyas and mind also should be there, and then only there is an possibility of inquiring into the nature of Atma. So that is why, Yena Atmavan Annamayaha. this Annamaya become Atmavan by this Pranamaya Kosha only. So this Pranamaya Kosha is said to be enlivening this Annamaya Kosha. It is said to be closer to Atma. Because of this Pranamaya Kosha only, Annamaya Kosha is having some connection with the Atma. Otherwise it will not have connection with the Atma. So that is it. Yena Atmavan Annamayaha. And also Anupurnaha. Anupurna is another word which we see in Taittiriya Upanishad. Tena Isha Purnaha. What is that? Tena Isha Purnaha Savaye Annarasam. No, there is one shloka which is fully quoted by Swamiji. That is, when Taittiriya Upanishad discusses the 5 koshas from one level to another level, so he says this Annamaya Kosha is something which is pervaded by Pranamaya Kosha. And Pranamaya Kosha is again pervaded by or permeated by this Manomaya Kosha. So like that, each subtler kosha is pervading the other kosha, the grosser kosha. So there is a grosser aspect which is outside, which is pervaded by the more subtle one, like peel of a, what is this, say an onion or something like that. The outermost layers, they have less of juice. The innermost layer, it is more juicy, so something like that. So this is something which is becoming Atmavan because of Pranamaya Kosha. And Annamaya Kosha is also Anupurnaha, Tena Isha Purnaha. What is that line? Do you have? Sava Yesha Purusha Vidha Eva Tasya Purusha Vidhatam. Some such line is there. Tasya Purusha Vidhatam. What is the next line? Anvayam Purusha Vidhaha. So that those lines he is referring, that Swamiji is referring and explaining there. So this Annamaya Kosha is something which is becoming enlivened by Pranamaya Kosha only. And Pranamaya Kosha is something which is making it full, which is filling the Annamaya Kosha or permeating the Annamaya Kosha. So that is the meaning of this Anupurnaha. It is something which is permeated by Pranamaya Kosha. Then Pravartate Sau Sakala Kriyasu. So this Annamaya Kosha is able to move about in all its activities only when it is permeated by this Pranamaya Kosha. So that is the point here. Atmavan Bhavati. Then so this sheath, it is also giving us the we have seen the earlier sheath, that is Annamaya Kosha. Annamaya Kosha gives us the feeling, I am tall, I am strong, I am like this, I am say handsome, my nose is so handsome, and then my say legs are so beautiful, etc., etc. That is what Deha says. And then again it tries to attract us. Then this Pranamaya Kosha, what does it say? Pranamaya Kosha says, this also gives some knowledge. I am hungry, I am thirsty, all this hunger, thirst, energy, all these activities, any activity relating to energy, all these things, they are say manifestations of this Pranamaya Kosha. So this Pranamaya Kosha also obstructs and says, I am the boss, I am the Atma. Then you have to negate it. So that is what he is doing in the next shloka. So next shloka says, so he says, this too is not Atma, he says. Naivatma pi pranamayo vayuvikaro ganta vayuvad antarbahireshah yasmat kinchit kvapi na vetti ishtam anishtam swamvanyam va kinchana nityam paratantraha. So this is what he says. In 2 shlokas, he has dismissed this Pranamaya Kosha because this Pranamaya Kosha is something which is not obstructing us so much. Annamaya Kosha gives a lot of obstruction by all this physical attraction. This Manomaya Kosha, much more. Manomaya Kosha, he is going to say handle it in say about 17-18 shlokas, because Manomaya is much stronger. Because Manomaya is something which is also a means for bandha and also a means for moksha. So if you defeat it and make it your friend, then it will lead you to Atma. If you are defeated by it, you are outside. So it is like that. So here Manomaya Pranamaya Kosha, Naiva Atma api Pranamayo, Pranamayaha api Naiva Atma. Pranamayaha api Atma Naiva. This Pranamaya Kosha can never be Atma. For what reason? Vayu Vikaro. This is a modification of Vayu only. So this Vayu is something which is permeating which is there in the body, which is spread out in the body, and then which is enabling all these various actions. This Pranavayu is getting divided in 5 ways. We saw in earlier shlokas. This prana, apana, vyana, udana, samana. So in 5 ways it is spread out in the body, and it is responsible for various actions. So that is what. So pranamayaha vayu vikaraha. This is a manifestation of that vayu. And anything which is a vayu, anything which is a vikara, a modification, cannot be the avikriya atma. So atma is something which is avikriya, something which doesn't undergo any change. Whereas this thing is undergoing change. It is a vikara vayu. Then ganta, ganta, it goes and comes. Ganta, it goes and comes. So ganta, ganta, vayuvad antarbahihi yeshaha. Like vayu, it is something which is going and coming. This prana is just going out and coming out, like inhalation and exhalation. Like exhalation and inhalation, this is something which is coming and going. So which means something which is parichinna. Ganta, ganta, this gamanam, agamanam, etc. All this activity can take place only in a parichinna, in a very delimited thing. This is not only parichinna, it is sakriyam. Sakriyam means it is an activity. In Atma, the Atma is nishkriyam. Atma is nishkriyaha. That is where there is no action, activity, there is no action. So this, what is this pranamaya kosha is something which is sakriya and which is parichinna. There is an activity in this and there is a limitation in this, and which is in total contrast with say Atma, which is aparichinna and also nishkriyam. Then ganta, ganta, vayuvad, vayuvat, like vayu, antar bahihi yeshaha. Antaha means inside, bahihi means outside. It comes in and goes out. And yasmat kinchit kvapi navetti. The third reason is kinchit navetti kvapi navetti. That means it knows the least. Kinchit navetti. It doesn't even know anything. It doesn't even, it cannot know anything. And kvapi, wherever, whatever, wherever it is, it cannot. Wherever means it is referring to probably all these avasthas. In all these avasthas also, you see Jagrada avastha, prana of course doesn't cognize. So swapna avastha, this doesn't cognize. Sushupti avastha, prana alone is there, isn't it? Sushupti avastha, mind also is withdrawn. In swapna avastha, mind is there. Jagrada avastha, mind and prana both are there. Swapnavastha, mind and Swapnavastha also mind and prana are there. In Sushupti Avastha, mind also is withdrawn. Only prana is there. But even then, prana is not able to know anything. So which means that prana is something which cannot know anything. So, yasmat kinchit kvapi, wherever it is, it cannot catch catch an intruder. Suppose prana is very much there, but suppose there is an intruder in the house. So this is the person who is sleeping, he can't catch the intruder because the prana is not cognizing anything. So navetti ishtam anistam, something which is to the liking or something which is not to the liking. Anistam means something which is not to the liking of a person. Then swamvanyam va swam, it doesn't know itself. It doesn't know another thing also. Swam navetti, anyam va navetti. It doesn't know its own self and it doesn't know any other person also. Swam va anyam va kinchana. Not even a little. Nityam paratantraha. Another reason is nityam paratantraha. It is something which is controlled by someone else. And who is that? And that person, the boss of this body is the mind. The mind says you go, it goes. The mind says you take it, it takes it. The mind says you sit, it sits. So this is something which is pranamaya kosha, is something which is a paratantra. So he has given about 4 or 5 reasons here. Number 1 reason he said is it is a vikara. It is opposed to avikriya atma. Then it is ganta aganta. That is it is going out and coming in. So it is something which is sakriyam and parichinnam. And then again he says it doesn't know anything. That is something which is jada. It is not sentient. It is insentient. It doesn't know anything. Then it doesn't. The same thing is in the last line also. Swamva anyamva navetti. It doesn't know. Then nityam paratantraha. It is something which is guided by somebody. It is something which is driven by somebody, and that somebody is the mind. So for this reason, this cannot be Atma. So this is a simple enemy. Pranamaya kosha is a simple enemy. Now we are coming to the main enemy, which is called Manomaya kosha. Manomaya kosha is the main enemy, but it can be the friend also if you can befriend it and look inward. If you are looking outwards, it is an enemy. It is obstructing you. Enemy in the sense, it is a strong obstruction from knowing Atman. In order to know Atman, it is a very strong obstruction. But if you can mend this mind, if you can mend the vasanas and all those things, remove the vasanas, then it becomes very transparent, it becomes very clear, very friendly, and then it will lead you inwards. So that is the point. So mental sheath, first in the first shloka, he is telling about the constituents. What are the constituents of this Manomaya Kosha? Jnanendriyani cha manascha manomaya syat kosho mamahamiti vastu vikalpa hetuhu Sanyadi bheda kalana kalito baliyans tat purva kosham abhipurya vijrumbhate yaha. So he says, what are the constituents? Jnanendriyani cha manascha manomaya syat. So this manomaya syat, it is like this. What? Jnanendriyani cha. The 5 sense organs. We know the 5 sense organs. Chakshusrotra, Tvakchakshusrotra, Jihva, Grana. These 5. The sense of smell, sense of sight, sense of touch, etc., sense of hearing, etc. All the 5 senses. And then manas. And just as I said now, these 5 sense organs are, they have evolved from the sattva aspect of the 5 elements. And the mind is the collective product of the sattva of the 5 elements. So these are the constituents in that. And manas is something which is, we know that the definition of manas, kamaha, sankalpaha, vichikitsa. Kama is desire, sankalpa, some sort of volition. Then vichikitsa, either this or not, some vichikitsa. Then again, dhrutihi, adhrutihi, that is determination and lack of determination. Hrihi, dhihi, bhihi, hrihi, that is a sense of shame or a sense of withdrawing. Dhihi, sense of boldness. Bhihi, fear. All these things. Shraddha, ashraddha, in between that shraddha, ashraddha also there. So all these things, they become the emotions, various emotions which are there in the Manomaya Kosha. So all these things, they become the Manomaya Kosha. Then Kosho, Mama, Hamiti, Vastu, Vikalpa, Hetu. This Kosha, then Mama, Aham. Aham, Mama. I and mine. I and mine. Whatever I see, this is mine, this is not mine. So Vastu Vikalpa Hetuhu. This is the cause for visualizing so much of plurality in the external world, because this mind is something which is cognizing all these things, and mind is something which is also cognizing its own body. Mind is the thing which is cognizing its own body, and then it is saying, yes, I am strong, I am CEO, my body is so beautiful, etc., etc. And then it is distinguishing various things. It is distinguishing Sanyadi Bheda Kalana Kalitaha. Sanya means name. Sanya Adi, name, etc. Name, etc. means name and form. Name and form. Sanyadi Bheda Kalana. Bheda means difference, distinction. Kalana means kaladhatu, to calculate. So that means kalana means to reckon, to know. Bheda Kalana means to know the difference, to distinguish, to make a distinction. So this mind has got the faculty to distinguish. The mind has got the faculty to create newer and newer things. This mind is able to see newer and newer things. Koshaha mama ahamiti vastu vikalpa hetuhu. This hetu means cause. This is the cause for what? Vikalpa. That is visualizing so many things. Visualizing that plurality or diversity, as we say. So much of plurality. Then sanyadi bheda kalana kalitaha. So it is having that faculty to know or distinguish the names and forms. Kalita. Kalita means associated with. Kalita. So kalana kalitaha. Kalana is calculating, reckoning. Kalitaha associated with. Then baliyan, it is so strong, because this is something, it is the source of all the vasanas. Vasanas are the impressions. It is the source for all the chitta vrittis. Because all the faculties, all the sense organs, they go and bring messages to this mind. Mind is somewhat like a control room. So all these messengers, they bring various messages. All these messages are processed and stored here. So it is somewhat like a control room having all these chitta vrittis, where all these chitta vrittis originate. And how these chitta vrittis become stronger by vasanas, he is going to say in the next shloka. But in this particular shloka, he is just talking about these chitta vrittis. It is making such a distinction between so many things. It is making a distinction between what is mine and what is I, what is mine. So all these things it is making a distinction. And then, so here, what is the one more point? So there are a few points which that Swamiji he quotes. That is, Bandha and Moksha. Where is that Bandha Moksha? Yes, Sangnadi Bheda Kalana Kalitaha Baliyan. And then this Bandha and Moksha also depend on this sheath. Bandha is bondage, Moksha is liberation. So this is again, it can be the obstruction, it can also be a friend, as I said. Then all aspects relating to Shabda and Artha are also known by this. Shabda and Artha means all sounds you hear, all language, whatever I am talking, you are now listening, and then your mind is processing what all I am saying. And what all Rupa, what all objects you are seeing, your mind is processing and making some opinion on that. So this is that. Then tat purvakosham abhipurya vijrumbhate. Purvakosham abhipurya, having permeated the earlier kosha. The earlier kosha is pranamaya kosha. So which means that the pranamaya kosha becomes meaningful only with manomaya kosha. So annamaya kosha becomes meaningful because of pranamaya kosha. Pranamaya kosha becomes meaningful only by manomaya kosha. Without manomaya kosha, this pranamaya kosha is of no use. So that is the point. Like a ventilator, man and a ventilator. So swapurva sat purvakosham abhipurya. Puranam, you know, Puranam means filling. Anupurya, having filled, that lyepa pratyaya. Vijrumbhateyaha. Vijrumbhate. Vijrumbhate, Vijrumbhanam, you know. Vijrumbhanam is very proudly going about, moving in a very unbridled, unchecked manner. So that is what is Vijrumbhanam. Vijrumbhanam, we say somebody, that enemy is, or Vijrumbhistunadu we say. Vijrumbhanam means you are going about in a unchecked manner, unbridled manner. So that is what is Vijrumbhanam. So that Purvakosham Abhipurya, Vijrumbhate, that means you are cognizing everything. You are cognizing everything. The whole knowledge is in your province. All human knowledge is in my province, said somebody. So like that, the whole world is be in front of you. The whole world is for your examination. So that is how it is. Manomaya kosha is Vijrumbhate. And next several slokas are about Manomaya kosha and how powerful this Manomaya kosha is. So this Manomaya kosha gives the knowledge. Annamaya kosha abstracted in one way, Pranamaya kosha abstracted in one way. Manomaya kosha is giving the knowledge. I see, I touch, then again I taste, I want this, I do not want this, I am happy, I am unhappy, I like this, I do not like this, etc., etc. All such knowledges, they are all there in that Manomaya kosha. Then next shloka is again expanding whatever has been told. Panchendriyai panchabhireva hotrubhihi prachiyamano vishayajyadharaya jajvalyamano bahuvasanendhanaihi manomayagnir prapancham. So he is giving a metaphor of a yajna. There is a big yajna. So in this yajna there are 5 priests. These 5 priests are perennially pouring all this oblation into the fire. And all those oblations associated with this dhara. Dhara means a stream of ghee, a stream of fuel. Ajya dhara. Ajya means usually ajyam vilapya. We hear that word. Ajyam is, that is ghee. Ghee which is poured into the fire. The more ghee you pour, the more it flames. The flames becomes brighter, bigger and bigger. So that is it. That is the image here. Panchendriyai panchabhireva hotrubhihi. So who are these priests? These 5 indriyas. The 5 indriyas are the priests. And what do they do? Priests, what do the priests do? Priests pour oblations into that. So if you imagine Yajnavatika. Yajnavatika means that fireplace around which all these priests they sit and then pour all these oblations. So there are all these people are taking up all those ghee and then pouring into that. All the 5 people are pouring. Who are they? Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. All these 5 impressions, they are coming to the mind. So Panchabhireva Hotrubhihi Prachiyamanaha. Prachiyamanaha means it is increasing. You are never allowing it to rest. It is increasing. Every minute the mind is going after some new impression. Some other new impression is coming and falling into the mind. You are not allowing the mind to take rest at all. So Prachiyamanaha, it is being nourished. Like body is nourished by food, this mind is nourished by various things which we see, various things which we come across. all the impressions, sense impressions which are carried to it by the five senses. Prachiyamanaha. By what? Vishayajya dharaya. By this ajya dhara, by this continuous, regular, perennial stream of ajya. Ajya means that ghee. Fuel, let us say. Ajya is fuel. And what is this fuel? Vishaya. Vishayajya dharaya. All the sense objects are the fuel. The sense objects are fueling this flame. The sense objects are fueling this flame. And we know that sense object, the more you pour, the more this Agni takes, Agni swallows. It is not as though Agni is getting satiated. That is why it is called Analam. Analam means Agni is called Analam. Why? Na plus Alam is called Analam. Alam means enough. Enough. My food is, my belly is full. I don't want anything more. Suppose you eat quite well. And then you have a feeling of satiation and then you say, no, I don't want anything more. So that notion is called Alam. Alam Pratyaya. Yeah. So for this Alam Pratyaya is not there in Analam. The more fuel you put, the more it, the flame goes up. So that is the point here. Vishayajya dharaya. Then Jajvalyamanaha. Jajvalyamanaha. It is Jvalati Jvalati. This is young look prayoga. Young look. Jajvalyamanaha. Jajvalyamanaha is something which is brilliant. It is become more and more brilliant in flames. Bahu vasanendhanaihi. And this vasana also adds up to that. Vasana, what is that vasana? Vasana are the previous impressions. There are some present impressions and then previous impressions also. Suppose you are looking at something now and that thing is attracting you. So there are previous impressions also relating to that. Suppose you are looking at a girl. So you are having a nice feeling. So you had some other earlier interaction also with that girl. So that again adds to that thing. So I am just giving an ordinary example. Bahu vasanendhanahi. That vasana, that predisposition towards an object. That predisposition is actually strengthening this. That is augmenting this particular fire. Jajvalyamanaha. Bahu vasanendhanaihi. These earlier vasanas are also chittavrittis. The present perception is also a chittavritti. Suppose you are looking at something, it is a chittavritti, isn't it? Yeah. So this chittavritti is being augmented or supported by or further inflamed by another chittavritti, which is that vasana, which is there, that predisposition which is already there in the mind. It can be love, it can be hate, it can be anything. Any sentiment it can be. So, Bahu vasanendhanaihi jajvalyamanaha. Then this manomaya agnihi dahati prapancham. This manomaya agnihi, this manomaya kosha, like big fire, it is actually burning the whole universe. Burning means it is daha dhatu. It means daha bhasmikarane. It is making us into turning the whole universe into ashes. Bhasmikarana means turning everything into ashes. So dahati, it actually, let us say, it burns, if not turns into dust. Bhasmi karoti prapancham. So then for that you have to give a slightly metaphorical meaning for that. It is not as though it is burning the whole universe, in the sense that it is destroying the purushartha. It is actually depriving the seeker of the purushartha, which is called moksha. What is the final purushartha? Final purushartha is okay, you travel through the dharma marga, have dharma, artha, kama, and finally you have to attain moksha, isn't it? So from this manomaya agni, it is depriving a person. This manomaya agni, if you keep on pouring those vishayajya dhara, so that is the reason why we have to slowly reduce this vishayajya dhara. You have to stop seeing movies. You have to stop seeing all stupid, serials on the TV. What is there in that TV? There is nothing new. Some movie you see. What is there in that movie apart from some stunt and some dance, etc., etc.? Suppose if there is some theme which is educative, which is informative, okay, just for information's sake, for understanding philosophy in a better way, you can see it. In fact, that also can help you understand philosophy in a better way, and you can philosophize on that. So that is okay. But then some sort of thriller, what is there in that thriller? There is nothing in that thriller. So slowly we have to reduce all this Vishaya Ajya Dhara. So this Ajya Dhara, the more you pour, the more it is being inflamed. So we have to slowly reduce that Ajya Dhara so that these flames, slightly they are under control. So Manomanayagnihi Dahati Prapancham. So it is being deprived. It is actually depriving people of Purushartha. So we have to give a metaphorical meaning to that word. Then he again says, so this mind is something which is binding in nature. So the next shloka says, Mano nahyastya vidya manaso tirikta manohya vidya bhavabandha hetuhu tasmin vinashte sakalam vinashtam vijrumbhitesmin sakalam vijrumbhate. So this mind is something, apart from this mind there is no other thing than there is no such thing as avidya. Avidya is, what is avidya? Wrong perception. Apart from this mind, there is no such thing as avidya. So for this we have to need a little bit of explanation, because we know that jiva is something which is something which has origin as Vispulinga, just as Vispulingas come out of a huge fire. Similarly, from that Sarvatma, all these jivas have come out like these small sparklings of fire we see in that Upanishad. So this jiva is something which is a particle of that cosmic mind. So that is the reason, and that cosmic mind again is another manifestation of avidya. So apart from this mind, there is no such thing as avidya. We can see in that light. So I think we will see in the next class. Harihi Om Tat Sat.